While for this next hour, they're going to be the views of Bob Chapman of the International Forecaster. Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Well, pretty good, pretty good.
All right, fine. Well, Bob was on with us this afternoon, good enough to be on with us again this evening for a different audience as we begin addressing what is really going on financially in the world today. Now, we're told that there are all sorts of green sprouts coming up, that things are beginning to look better. It's just a matter of time. And, we had less jobs lost last month than we had the month before that. And, of course, we had, they acknowledged 539,000 Americans lost their jobs last month. Over 5 million Americans have lost their jobs since the recession began in December of 2007. But they try to tell us things are getting better, but they don't tell us the reason that there were only 539,000 people who lost their jobs is because the government created a lot of jobs. They've hired 140,000 census takers to go around to every house, every shack, every tent in the United States and mark it with a GPS indicator so the government will know exactly what you are and they can track exactly what you're doing. And because they know there's going to be very real problems and they're going to incite them, I believe, before this is over. They want an excuse to extend the power of government over the lives of every American in violation of our Constitution, in violation of our Bill of Rights. But these people have a different agenda because I believe many of them worship a different God. Well, Bob, you pick up the story. How are things really going as you look at the world financial situation?
Well, first of all, I think what you said is spot on, and this business of green sprouts is one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard in my life. Absolutely moronic. That I'm watching channel after channel of professionals coming on and talking about sprouts coming out of the ground. They must think the Americans are just as dumb. Anyway, that said, the financial situation, nothing, as you say, has improved. It just continues to get worse. In the next issue on Wednesday of the International Forecaster, I cover the stress test and what a scam it was. And a scam that it is, the London Financial Times had a survey done, and they said that there were 500 banks who were worse off than the larger banks, the 19 that were probed by Congress. And so if they're worse, they obviously are insolvent because the 19 are insolvent. And of the remainder, 38% need help. Well, if all that is true, I would guess that a good part of the banks in America are insolvent, maybe 1,000 or 2 or 3.
Well, we've got about 8,500 banks in America, so we've got a real problem with the financial system. But it's really all been created. It's been created intentionally. They knew what they're doing when they sold these subprime mortgages and the the defective student loans and auto loans and all of these things. They knew it could happen. We know the state attorney generals knew it was going to happen back in 2002 and tried to intervene and stop the predatory lending practices, but the Bush administration wouldn't let them. Why? Because you couldn't have a crisis if you didn't have a problem, and they were going to be sure that problem was overwhelming and devastating and would destroy the whole world. Well, Bob, go right ahead with the story.
Well, the situation is no better. All the things that they've done have accomplished very little. And the tip-off to that is that you have important people, quote, important people, all over the world saying, it looks like we've passed the bottom and things are going to be okay, and so on and so forth. And it is pathetic to go to CNBC or Fox or ABC and see another group of CEOs or people in politics or government saying the same mantra that is, oh, it's going to be okay. Even Jean-Claude Trichet, who is the head of the European Central Bank, doing the same thing. And, of course, that flaming idiot that runs England, he's on a par with our ex-president. He says everything's going to be all right as well. But it isn't going to be all right. And don't believe it. And, of course, that's got American and other countries' confidence up. And it's a false confidence. The market has just gone up in the United States some 35 to 40% over a perhaps 8 or 9 week, 10-week period. And the rally was sharp and totally uncalled for. I mean, there's no good news at all. Unless you expect the good news is, as you quoted, there were only 539,000 people who lost their jobs. I mean, how pathetic. And or if you count the fact that the people who build houses aren't as negative as they've been. Their negative rating moved up from 13 to 15 to 16. Well, housing starts have fallen 80.4%. I predicted at the end of 2005 that they'd have to drop 75%. So it's even worse than I thought it was. And, of course, that's caused by all the new home as well as used homes that are out there for sale. And, of course, many of them that are for sale are not listed. And the banks don't dare put them all on.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back in just a moment here. Well, this is Dr. Stan, and of course, Bob was just saying that there are a lot of homes out there that are empty, that are not listed. Now, I've heard there's a figure, something like 1 in 9 homes in the United States is sitting empty, but a lot of them aren't on the market because if they put them on the market, it would drive the prices down even further. We're told that last month, in the month of April, there were about 330,000 people who got notice of foreclosure. In other words, this is a prelude to losing their homes. I mean, we lost a couple of million people lost their homes last year, and equally that many, or probably many more, are going to lose their homes this year. All those homes are going to go on the market, and of course it's going to continue driving the price down. And the government is really doing absolutely nothing. They had one program called Hope for Homeowners, and it was supposed to help 400,000 people. And isn't it wonderful? We've got Hope for Homeowners. One article I read said that actually one mortgage had been readjusted, and that was all. The other of 399,000 homes, were in trouble, and most of them have been foreclosed on. And now they've got a new program, and they've made it so difficult most people can't get into it. They put on a good job of talking. Oh, we're doing something. We're so concerned about the homeowners. I remember Henry Paulson in October of last year, the end of September of last year, promised, to take that $700 billion and use it to, help the people who were losing their homes. He had to have the money. The money was not for Wall Street. It was for Main Street. You can trust me, the money is not for Wall Street. My friends on Wall Street, the money is for Main Street. We want to help the homeowners. That was September of last year. That was 8 months ago. And what's happened? Absolutely nothing. Go right ahead, Bob.